Hi, and welcome back to Casting an Actor's Perspective. My name is John, and this week's episode is Find Your Levels. As always, let's jump right in. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the last thing that any of us want to do when we walk into the audition room is be fucking boring, right? You don't want to be boring. You want to do something. You want to move people. You want to affect emotional responses from everybody in that room. If it's one person, or if it's 10 or 20, or if you're for a network or studio test, maybe even 30, 40, 50 people, it can get kind of crazy. So the last thing you want to do is go in there and be boring. And if you come in with what I sort of term just a one-note audition, then you're going to be boring. You're going to put everybody to sleep and they're going to check out. And that's not what you want, right? And what do I mean by a one-note audition? That means you come in and you have one level, one choice, one action that you play repeatedly throughout the entire scene. So that if you come in and let's just say, let's just talk in general states right now, but let's say that you come into the scene angry, and the entire scene you play angrily, and every response to everything that your scene partner says, you're angry at, or you're angry at or with them. Anger is a powerful emotion. It can be felt deeply, but it can also get really boring. It can also be a turnoff, and it can get to the point where it feels like it's being put upon you as the viewer rather than taking you on an emotional journey that allows you to feel it organically, the way that we often do as normal human beings. So you want to cultivate that. You want to find ways to inject different levels so that you don't just come in and be angry throughout the entire scene, but you find ways to be angry but also be surprised, or be angry and allow for the scene or the scene partner or even just the words that the reader is droning on without giving you a lot of feedback that you like to have as an actor, and taking all of that in and using it to your advantage. So, for example, let's stick with the angry thing. You can come in and be angry, and let's say you do have a reader that is disengaged, that they are the person who when you walk into the room, is just has their head down in the page, just reading the words, and they're only trying to get through this scene because they have 75 other actors after you, and they have to do it just like this in order to get through their day. Well, if you come in angry, you can use that reader to your advantage. You can find different levels of anger. You can find frustration in that anger. You can find disappointment in that anger. And you can find any other little offshoot that you might deem worthy from your imagination, from your own homework as an actor. And you can infuse that audition with those little variations. That's what's going to bring it to life. That's what's going to make you stand out. Rather than coming in, bam, 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 hit everybody over the fucking head with this stuff. Like, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry, I'm angry. And everybody's like, yeah, we get it, we get it, we get it. You can come in and say, I'm angry, but I'm also really disappointed, and I'm really frustrated. And God damn it, why aren't you listening to me? Or however it might play out, right? That's much more interesting. That's much more dynamic. And it's much more authentic to who we are as human beings. So, when you're going into your auditions, make sure that you are not a one-note auditioner. Find those different levels. Find those different words, those different feelings, and all the little offshoots of the big feelings that you're experiencing, and use those to your advantage to make that character come to life, to really make it an authentic emotional journey, and take the entire room on that journey with you. And again, doing this, you'll be ahead of the game, because often people will fall into the trap of, I'm playing this, I'm angry about this, I need this, and I'm angry that I don't have it, and so I'm going to play that through the whole thing. That's fucking boring. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares. So don't be that. Find a way to make yourself, to take us on this journey that allows us to just dip and rise and dip and rise, and then maybe we mellow out and find something straight, or even just sort of meandering along the way. But make yourself, again, soft and vulnerable in order to find those things so that you can give us those different emotional levels. And you're going to be ahead of the game. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this rule. Now, you go in for a one-line co-star, play your anger. Play whatever it is that you need to play. You're allowed to be a little bit more of a one-note auditioner in those scenes because they're not expecting much from you. And if all they need is the frustrated waiter or the exasperated cop or the joyful babysitter, I don't know, whatever it might be, and it's just the one or two lines, then that's the exception to this rule. But if you're going in for something more, a little more nuanced, take this with you, put it in your tool bag, and again, if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, let it wash. All right? All right, well, that's it for this episode. So join me next week for the episode Switching Roles. I'm going to give you one technique that I have used that has opened up my entire audition game, and I'll tell you more about that next week.